Hi, it's Mark Stewart Greenstein, candidate for governor 2018. I want to talk education. I want to talk about my experience with middle schoolers with whom I had a back and forth earlier this afternoon. They know more about school costs up in Litchfield, Connecticut than many of our General Assembly people do in Hartford. They're very concerned. 3 of the 14 questions I got from these 7th and 8th graders were about downsizings and school closings. And what would I do to avoid that? They love their school. It seems like a very good school up in Goshen. The rural towns are under a lot of pressure cost-wise. And it's going to continue. It's probably going to get even worse because education cost sharing is a statewide thing for now. I plan to end it. And with it, eliminate the back and forth, the fighting, and ultimately the problems that one town funding another town create. Right now, districts in the northwest and the northeast corners of Connecticut have a fairly high per student cost. But they're not wasteful. It's because they have inherent disadvantages of scale. First off, transportation. Hardly anyone lives near a school. There's almost nobody walking to schools. So there's busing costs and van costs. Also, the sparse number of people still have to be in a building that has to be heated, that has to have administration, that has to have service people, even if they have a smaller number of teachers. And within the classrooms, on a per student, it's hard to fill 20 of the same grade for every classroom. No problem filling that in urban and dense suburban areas. So the scales economics do advantage schools like West Hartford and Avon. They really advantage Hartford if they would do it right. In Hartford, the transportation costs are relatively low because the dense population means you're routinely near a school. In Hartford, the numbers of people mean we can staff more effectively, and you end up on a per student basis. You should be able to staff at a lower cost per student. It's not working that way because of, I contend, mismanagement. Here's your way out. The way out is to ditch ESC in favor of a voucher system. Same amount of funding that we provide now instead goes to the schools for which there's a demand. And there will be demand for good schools wherever they are. If there is a hole, not a good school near you yet, families should cross borders, go to a different district, maybe enlist in a private school for which their voucher is equally good. This is going to make better schools. This is going to give parents and students a choice of where to go. And it will fill those holes, because a hole means there's a need. And that's where the entrepreneurial educators can set up a new school. That's how very good magnet schools have gotten started. I was at Breakthrough Magnet School 15 years ago when Norma was just getting going in like a trailer type building. Now it's flourished. She's on 3 different campuses. Kids are dying to get in there. That is a success story that could be modeled over and over again. The less the state is involved, the more the education flourishes. Our involvement should be limited to funding from the bottom up, letting families armed with a voucher use it on good education services where they want. And if there's nothing good enough now, you form your own. Get together with other parents, find the good educators, recruit them as private businesses do. And private businesses, I rarely have a beef with. They're the most successful element of America. Education, not always so successful. We should be adopting more private models in Connecticut. I'm here to assure that. Thanks for listening.